Fright Fest 2025 begins on September 12th, and we are here today to give you all the tips and tricks that you need to know about Fright Fest for this year. We're going to go through the map as well as some recommendations I have from past seasons of Fright Fest. This is Arkham, and this is your 2025 Fright Fest guide.
Now get ready. Here we go.
For this Fright Fest guide, we're going to be looking specifically at the park map for the 2025 Six Flags Great Adventure Fright Fest. Go in a clockwise order and talk about everything that you need to know that is in the vicinity about the different scare zones, the different scare mazes, and all that stuff. There's quite a bit of some new things this year, so we got a lot to talk about. So let's get right into it. First things first, every time that you enter into the park, and one of the big things that you need to know is that you have to purchase a haunted maze pass. This is different from previous iterations where I believe it is $70 and you can purchase it at designated locations that is located in green on the map. So that would be the former Flashpoint area right next to Johnny Rockets, the Flash Pass area by Joker, Adventure World right next to Big Top Terror, and Adventure Gifts right by Dia de los Muertos. So those are the areas where you can buy and redeem your haunted attraction pass. There might be some other locations that are added throughout the time when Fright Fest begins, depending on crowd levels, but those are the primary areas of concern. So you enter into the park, those are where you want to go to first. But let's talk about the first experience. When you first enter the park, you are entering your first area, the Bloody Fountain. When you first enter the park, the Bloody Fountain is the first area that you come across. It is also the area that every single person that enters the park has to navigate through. There is no getting out of sight from this one. A ton of zombies that go across Houdini, the fountain itself, the Awakening, and all the way back by Giant Wheel are there to frighten you. A bunch of zombies. They did a lot of really cool stuff with the decor this year compared to last year, and the improvements look second to none. I would imagine there's going to be a ton of fog around the area as well. It looks really awesome. I like that they use the casket cars as a throwback from Dead Man's Party, and they're putting them inside of this area for scenery. So they're really doing a good job with the scenery around the fountain, and it looks amazing. Should be a great area. The Bloody Fountain is also the location of the show The Awakening, which is located directly behind the pumpkin statue. It's a pretty cool show. It basically cavalcades in just like Heroes and Villains did. And then they go and rendezvous over at the Bloody Fountain. And that's kind of like the new Dead Man's Party this year. They do not have Dead Man's Party, unfortunately, this year. But there is a return of another show that we'll get to in a minute. But Awakening is back from last year, and it is right at the front of the park. Now let's make our way left and head over to the carousel where we're going to find the Freak Show. The Freak Show is moving from its former location last year, which was located next to Army of the Dead. Now it is located at the Daredevil Dive Plot of Land, which is, I think, a lot more convenient. I really like that all the shows this year are very centralized. They're in like the center of the park, essentially, except for Unleashed, which we'll get to in a minute. This is also where Carnival is going to go. Carnival is being relocated from the middle of the boardwalk to now the front of the boardwalk where it used to be. And I think this is a great change. I think that it just makes a ton of sense that they put it right here. That way you can just go through Dream Street and avoid that area if you don't want to cut through it. But Carnival is awesome. It's a bunch of clowns. It's great. I have no problems with it at all. And it's one of my favorite areas. The clowns are fantastic. They do such a great job interacting with the guests. They're a ton of fun to talk to. They're always open for pictures. Just about every scare actor is, which is really cool. I really, really like Carnival a lot. If you go further down, you'll find Army of the Dead and Conjuring. Both of them are returning from last year, and they're both in the exact same locations as last year. Army of the Dead is in the Right Stuff building behind Slingshot, and Conjuring is located right next to Superman. The queue is a little bit different at Conjuring because Green Lantern is no longer there, so it doesn't have you cut all the way back through it. Now the queue is basically directly next to Superman. So I think it's a lot more convenient that they did that instead of having you like walk on a bunch of gravel. But this is going to be a very interesting area to watch. It's the area with basically the most amount of scare mazes outside of Movie Town. So this is an area that I think is going to be jumping when it comes to the scare mazes. And then right back at the top next to Dream Street is the return of Big Top Terror 3D. not really too much I could go over here. That's where like those train carriages are that you've seen in a couple of vlogs. That's the exit of Big Top Terror. It should be the exact same layout from last year because they changed the layout of Big Top Terror last year, and I'm pretty sure it'll be the same this year. And it's a great maze. Any of like the original like non-IP mazes, they really do a great job with. This one's no exception. This one's a ton of fun. Next up, going even farther left towards El Toro, we'll find the brand new Scare Zone, which we'll get to in a second, Trick or Treat, and also Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Let's talk about Texas Chainsaw. It is returning to the same location as it did last year, which is in the building right across from El Toro's turnaround. That is back where Ka used to be. Yeah, this is the furthest we will ever get to go in the park ever since Ka's removal, outside of those that were at the Ace event. I mean, this is going to be a wild one to figure out what's happening because I think a lot of people are going to be invested just to go back here again. But Texas Chainsaw is coming back, probably the same maze, probably the same layout. It was a solid one. Can't really complain about it. If you're a huge fan of the franchise, you'll be a big fan of it. After that, you'll exit off on the opposite side and you'll head down and you'll find Trick or Treat there. Again, maze returning from last year, probably the same exact layout as it was last year. It's on the shorter side because they didn't have a lot of room to work with, but with the room that they did have to work with, I think they did a very good job. And I think it ended up being a favorite when it came down to the IP mazes, which was fantastic. But also, this area is home to the brand new Scare Zone that is being added, not first time for Six Flags, but first time for this park in particular, which is almost like a Day to Dead area. I keep saying Dia de los Muertos, but it's not. It's like Plaza de los Muertos or something like that. The name is on the video, but this area seems really cool. I'm very intrigued with what they'll do with this area, and I think it's going to add a lot of life back here on this side of the park. And I will say, if you do want to ride El Toro, you do have to go through this area, so just keep that in the back of your mind. The last Scare Zone on this side of the park is what was ended up to be my favorite of last year, and it is coming back, thankfully, Exile Canyon. This area is sick. It's all about mining. There's a bunch of guys with shovels scraping them on the ground, creating sparks. There's so much happening in this area. The props are awesome. It is insanely cool what they have for this area. I'm so excited they brought this one back. It fits really well with Frontier Adventures too. Sadly, the log flume probably won't be open for the rest of the season, so we can't really get the full experience from this area. But with Mine Train there and Medusa, I think people will have reason to come back here. Next up, we're heading back to the center of the park by Joker to the lakefront, where we will come across our next show as well as our next Scare Zone, the final Scare Zone we have to talk about, at least for now, and that is Curse of Blackbeard's Bounty. It is returning from last year. I believe it debuted last year as well. And this was an awesome area with some awesome aquatic themed props, some ghost pirates, zombie pirates. It is a sick area. There's even a guy in a ghillie suit in this area, which was just so cool. If you were able to spot them and just scaring you from the bushes, it was just hilarious. But also over here is the Blade Drummers. This was probably my favorite show last year, and it is just a bunch of drummers just going crazy, lighting sticks on fire. There was like a sword swallower or something like that. There was like a juggler in the show. It was a pure chaos, and it was awesome. If you've never seen Blade Drummers before at Fright Fest, you need to see this group. It is awesome. Also, it is not marked on the map, but I just want to make a quick notice of the Jersey Devil area, which is known as Demon District. It is not marked in as a scare zone for this year. However, I do believe, because they have the props out, there is a possibility that this could be a scare zone this year. So this is an area to keep an eye on. They do have the Demon District props out around Jersey Devil, so it is possible that it is a scare zone that was added last minute. So this is an area to just keep an eye on. So kind of skipping over, but now we're going to head down to Movie Town. And in Movie Town, we have where the biggest surprises of this year's Fright Fest occur. So labeled at number 4, where Stranger Things used to be, is a brand new themed maze called the Wreck Cage, which is based around a creepy guy in a garage or a shed or whatever it is. And I'm So excited for this one. The fact that they are going with another original maze, this has never been done before, which should be very exciting. The last time that the park did something completely out of the blue, never done it before, they did Asylum. And Asylum turned out to be the best maze in Fright Fest last year by a landslide. This one could be just as good. And I'm really looking forward to what they have in store for this one. It's not a very big space, so I'm very curious to see how they put this one through together. And I'm so excited for Wreck Cage. And now, on top of that, they also are returning Unleashed. That's right. Unleashed is coming back to the Showcase Theater across from Battle for Metropolis. Massive win. It was an amazing show, and when it was here in 2023, and it is back here in 2025. It's an unbelievable show. I don't have any footage of it, but if you have never seen the show, you need to make sure you're here on a day of Fright Fest where you do see the show because it's unbelievable. So much crazy tricks, danger. I don't even know how half these people do what they do. It really is spectacular. And now we move on to what is probably the most popular maze last year, at least my favorite, and a returning maze from a couple of Fright Fest seasons ago. Let's start with the return of Total Darkness, a scare maze that formerly was home inside of the Right Stuff building, has now been brought back and is being located in Saw's former home. I cannot believe they decided to bring a maze back, let alone Total Darkness, which is exactly what it sounds like. It basically is a maze in total darkness. That's the whole point of it. I think it's very interesting that they put it in here. I would have personally, if they were going to bring it back, put it either where Conjuring or Army of the Dead is because it's actually indoors and they can keep the lights off the whole time. But I will say that having this maze come back is really cool and it really opens up a lot of opportunities. Wicked Woods could come back one year. The Manor could come back one year. Like now we have this maze coming back. I think it just opens up a whole opportunity for them to revive a maze and say, how can we make this maze better than than it previously was? And I love that this maze is back. And then of course it's sharing a room with the Asylum, which is in the same location and was the best maze last year. Who knows if it's going to hold on to that title? It very well might. Asylum is just pure chaos from start to end, and there's just so much sound, so much animatronics, so much movement. It's lengthy. It's got a good length to it. It's really, really strong, and it's just so satisfying to walk through. It made me want to go around again, and everyone thought I was crazy. But the fact of the matter is that it's that good. So Asylum coming back again this year. It debuted last year, and then Total Darkness returning after I believe 5 or 6 seasons, which is a win in my eyes. And the final scare maze that we have to make mention to is the returning Witch's Reflection over on the other side of the Giant Wheel exit. This is a mirror maze, scare maze. It is the same one as last year, and I think the year before that as well. It is a pretty cool one. The concept, again, of it being a mirror maze where you can see the person in front of you when they're really not there. So it really just deceives you the whole time, and it's a really cool concept. It is on the shorter side because of the size of the building, but because of that, they are able to fit a lot of people to go through it at once. It's a really cool maze that tricks with your head, and it's a good one to do. And that right there is my Fright Fest 2025 guide video for you all. So, right then and there, you're probably asking yourself, well, what would be the main plan? So, we just went through the entire map. What is the best idea? My best strategy really comes down to 2 options for you. If you are somebody that likes to prioritize the main IP stuff, go do the main IP stuff. Thankfully, all of the IP mazes are located on the left side of the park this year, outside of Big Top Terror. So you can start heading your way to the boardwalk. My suggestion for you is don't go to the front of the park to get your Haunt Pass redemption if you are going to do that. Your best option would be to go to either Adventure World or Adventure Gifts to get your Haunt Pass if you are going to start on the left side of the park. If you're going to start on the right side of the park, then my suggestion would be to go up to the Flash Pass building because I think everyone's going to start crowding around that main flashpoint building. Now, I do see a reality where more stores are going to have this ability to redeem your haunt attraction pass. I don't know, and nor have I heard where other ones will be located at. My guess is that they'll probably put one by Wreck Cage. They'll probably put another one closer in El Mercado. I see a reality where they'll start spreading it out a little bit more. So those are things to look out for throughout the time. If you want to get to the newer mazes, like the Return of Total Darkness and Wreck Cage being the brand new maze, I would start heading to the right side first and maybe hitting those later. But what I do suggest is if you want a full immersive experience first off from your mazes, do the fully indoor mazes first. That would be stuff like Army of the Dead, Conjuring, Witch's Reflection, Big Top Terror, Trick or Treat, or Asylum and Total Darkness. If you want full night experience, wait on Wreck Cage and Texas Chainsaw Massacre until it gets darker out. That's just my personal preference. However, it is completely up to you how you want to go about your Fright Fest journey and where the frights may take you. The thrills by day and frights by nights start on Friday, September 12th. And man, it looks to be the most frightening one yet. I hope you guys enjoyed my Six Flags Great Adventure Fright Fest guide for this year's Fright Fest event. I will be there on Friday to check it out, and I am so excited to get into all these mazes and check them out for myself as well with other people. It's gonna be an absolute blast. Can't wait to see you all there. If you are there, don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe. Always thank your ride operators. Have an amazing rest of your day, and I'll see you all in the parks really, really soon. Bye.
Here we go.